Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa Copeland, and if you've never met me before on one of these Facebook Lives, let me tell you, I'm a love coach and dating expert for women over 50. And my passion is truly taking women step by step through the process of finding love after 50 in a way that is easy to understand and with tools and support for finding the perfect man they want to spend their life with. So I want to welcome you to 5 things you might be doing that push men away and that actually hold you back from finding love with the right man after 50. So you're in the right place if you're a single woman over 50 who's not attracting the man she wants and is trying to figure this out on her own and is getting nowhere. If you're sick and tired of being single and alone and you're ready for a breakthrough, then this is it. Now, during our time together, I'm going to show you how this one thing you might be sharing on a first date is what determines whether or not he'll ask you out again. And I'm also going to let you know why overgiving to a man turns him off and how it keeps you from getting the guy you want. Plus, the exact tool that you want in your dating toolbox if finding love with a quality man is a priority in 2020, and so much more. So I see more of you are joining us now. Hi, Jeannie, and Susan just joined us. Well, we're going to be talking about 5 things you might be doing, but there really are more than 5 things that you could be turning men away by doing. And I wish we had time to cover them all. But I found that these 5 things that I'm going to share with you are actually going to make life so much easier for you when it comes to dating. And they're going to help you see why dates may have gone south or bad in the past. So I'm really excited you're here, and we're going to get started on the 5 things you might be doing that push men away and hold you back from finding love after 50. So the first thing that you might be doing that pushes men away is overgiving. If you're an overgiver, just type in yes on the side. Overgiving is when we as women, we're nurturers by nature, and so we like to give. And we watched our mothers and our grandmothers give to the men in the family, serving them first. And we had role models, but they had a system in place of their roles. So it's different than what we do today. We overgive by trying to make a man feel safe, or we overgive actually in exchange for love. And the reason we do this is we want him to feel safe and secure so he can be there to love us. And he'll have the time to love us. But it usually doesn't work out that way. And we end up way overgiving. So let me give you an example of what overgiving looks like. So let's say you had a really long day, whether you were working all day or you were taking care of the kids or the grandkids or parents. And as a result, you were pretty tired, but you promised your guy that you would make him dinner. And so you make him dinner. And then what ends up happening is you get the dinner on the table, you have dinner, and then you tell him, you go rest, I'll clean all this up. So you clean up the dinner, you clear the table, you do the dishes, and you might even throw in some wash and load and empty the dishwasher and 500 other things. So that by the time that you are done and ready to sit down and rest, you're exhausted. This is what overgiving is. It's when you sort of try and just make everything perfect for him so he's there for you, so he'll be okay. But he's not, and he's not going to take that time. He's not doing stuff in the relationship for you or to give to you because you are actually training him to stop giving to you by overgiving. Now, do men like overgiving? Of course, they get to do less at home. But when you overgive, you end up pushing them away for this reason. When you've been giving and giving and giving, your tank empties out. Nobody's giving to you. You're not giving to you, and a man's not giving to you. So you get to this point where you've just given enough and you end up bursting. I mean, you just blow up like, this is not okay anymore. I can't do it this way anymore. And you go a little crazy. And that's when you end up pushing him away, because what happened is he learned to expect that you were just going to take care of everything. He didn't have to do things. So how much should you give in a relationship? If you're with an emotionally healthy man, you want to learn to let him give to you about 55 to 60%, and you give about 40 to 45%. And that's really hard to do when you're used to giving. But remember, when you're over giving, you're paying a price. You're giving to get love, and it never works that way. So start to let men give to you more. Start to receive from men. I know it can feel hard, but in the end, when you have a man that's suddenly giving to you, it feels really good. You're both giving. It's not just a one-sided thing. And it feels good when a man wants to make you happy. So the second thing that we do when we end up pushing men away is we show up on a date with a lot of baggage. So when we were young, we came to the dating table and the marriage table pretty much just with our families and with maybe a dog or a cat or something like that. We just didn't have that much going on. We may have had a couple boyfriends over time. And of course, like I said, our parents and siblings. And that's about all the baggage that you had when you probably got married the first time. But over time, you've accumulated emotional baggage, things like in-laws, kids, grandkids. You've also accumulated times that you have been very hurt by men. And when we hold on to that, it starts showing up in our dating life and it pushes men away. So what does that look like? Well, let's say you had a really bad day again, but this time you're not cooking dinner, you're dealing with an ex, and you had the biggest argument and you're going on a date after you've argued with your ex. So what ends up happening is you get there and here is this man, he's being nice to you, and you think, I'm just going to run this by this guy, because this is what you would do with your girlfriends. And when you run what happened by this guy, he gets really flustered and he can't do anything for you. And you got to remember, men are wired to fix for you. So because they're wired to fix for you, that's what they're always looking to do. But when a man has just met you, then what happens is he can't fix for you. He doesn't know how to. He doesn't know you that well. So he feels like he looks less than in your eyes, and a man never wants to look less than in your eyes. So you've pushed him away because, not realizing it, you have inadvertently pushed him away by bringing that baggage, even though you thought maybe he can help me. What you're also doing is you're bringing in a third person into the date. It's not just the two of you, and it's not just about meeting someone interesting. You've also got an ex sitting there on the date with you, even though he's not physically there, but his energy is there. So you want to, if you've had an argument with an ex right before you're going on a date, you want to take a really deep breath. You can call a girlfriend on your way to where you're going and process it with her. Don't bring it into the date, because again, you'll make that man feel less than. So the other thing about this is, when you haven't worked out your baggage, when you haven't worked out the pain that you're struggling with, let's say a man cheated on you, or whatever it is that he could do, and he's done it, and you're feeling really hurt by this. What you're going to do is, if you don't take the time to heal this, you're just going to reattract whatever it is that caused the pain. So when I work with clients, we work on what's called a pattern chart. And the pattern chart is part of a quality man template, and that is getting a clear vision of the right man for you. So what the pattern chart does is it helps you to identify the right man for you. But what it also helps you do is identify the wrong man, the man that you have baggage with. Because sometimes we don't even realize what our baggage is. Sometimes we've had a guy who is emotionally not there for us. And when that happens, a lot of it is you want to look inside yourself and make sure you're emotionally there for yourself. Or you've had abuse from somebody, or you've had all kinds of things. But you want to definitely heal that before you get out there and date, because you bring that energy onto the date and you end up attracting the same type of man that you just had in your life. And you don't want to do that. But the way you do push men away, let me read a quick little story for you so that you get an idea what this looks like. One man shared with me a story about dating a lovely woman he truly cared about, but her baggage from her ex ultimately tore the relationship up. And unfortunately, her husband had cheated on her, which constantly made her suspicious of this man's whereabouts. When we're suspicious, we wear what's called the gray color glasses. And these are glasses of the color of a storm when we meet someone. And we're trying to make him prove to us that he's going to keep us safe. And so when you make a man jump hoops to make you stay safe, what ends up happening is you end up pushing him away because he gets tired of having to prove to you that he's going to keep you safe. So for this woman, she had been so hurt that she was constantly challenging this man and thinking he was cheating on her because he had female friends. And he even had stayed friends with some of the women that he had dated in the past. And a lot of people do that. They stay friends because it's a great thing to do when you're not dating, to have male friends in between so you're around male energy. But my guy friend, every time he had lunch with a female business associate or a female friend, his girlfriend would become jealous and she would fly into a rage and she would start accusing him of cheating on her, which was not the case at all. And sadly, she couldn't seem to trust another man after she'd been so hurt. And what she did was she displaced unfairly onto this man her lack of trust. So you want to make sure, like I said, your baggage is cleaned up so you don't just reattract the same man in, so you don't make a man jump hoops to date you. Another thing, when you are on a date with a man and you're bringing this baggage with you, what you end up doing is comparing the old guy you were with the new guy you're sitting in front of. And a man can get a sense of that. And he does not want to be on a date with someone. He doesn't want to be compared to your last date. And it's pretty normal for us to do that. Even if the guy was bad, we'll compare because we are used to being with that other person. So it's a real turnoff for a man, though, to have that comparison thing happening. So let's talk about the third way of what we might do that turns men off and pushes them away. We have some habits that men do not like. The first one is multitasking. Is anybody here a multitasker? If you are, write yes in the comment bar. And we're multitaskers because as women, we're community oriented and we get things done so much faster when we're talking to other people. So a guy might call you for before a first date and you might be talking on the phone together, but while you're talking, you're also putting the laundry away emptying the dishwasher, maybe writing out a list. And what happens is you can get sort of distracted and get a little quiet. And we don't always realize we're doing this. And I think as we age more too, multitasking gets harder. We're more single focused. But men can sense that you're not paying attention to them. And men like to have your attention. So they do like to have your attention. So when you're on the phone with them, they want to know that you care enough to just talk to them. See, they cannot multitask because men are single focused. So they like it when you are actually just paying attention to them, like they're paying attention to you. And when they think you're doing a million other things, what they do is they will not continue talking to you. They'll get off the phone and they may never call you again. So when you're talking to someone either on the phone or a man on the phone, or you're having a conversation with a man where he's come home, he says, I need to share something with you, stop what you're doing, put it all down, and give him your full attention. They actually really do that with you. And it does push them away to try and do 45 things at once, and they do sense it. Another habit we have as women that men absolutely cannot stand, and it pushes them away, is being late. Now, it's one thing to be late by 5 minutes. And I used to have a tendency to do that. I always have to set I still do, like even meeting friends for lunch, I'm about 5 minutes late. I always try and squeeze in that next thing. So, but men, they do not like to sit there and tap their toe and wait for you. In 5 minutes, they can handle. If you're going to be more than 5 minutes late, you need to call them and let them know you're running late. And try not to be more than 5 minutes late. It really is rude. And so what happens is he gets aggravated with you when you're 10 or 15 minutes late, or even 30 minutes late. He may just leave, or he's already in a bad mood before the date has ever started. And he's probably going to end that date pretty quickly because you pushed him away in what he will consider as disrespect for his time. Now, the third habit that pushes men away is when you do not make time for a man or a relationship. I cannot tell you how many times women share with me, I am just too busy to date. They want to date, they want the guy, but they won't make the time to make it happen. They fill their calendar with everything that's possible, and they leave no space for dating. So when you do this and it takes 3 weeks for a guy to get a date with you, you've actually pushed him away because you've sent him the message, this is not that important to me. You're not that important. And of course, he shouldn't be that important. You don't know him. But you do want to make time to get to know a man and to date him. You really need to do that. And you push him away when you're not making that time for him. Okay, so those 3 habits again, just to review those, that pushes men away are multitasking, being late, and not making time for a man or a relationship. The 4th thing we do to push men away is we don't appreciate men. I hear this from men all the time. They think I've planned this nice date for you and you just don't appreciate it. And many times we don't. What we'll end up doing is saying nothing. We won't even say thank you. Or let's say just a man does something for you. And even if you don't like it, especially when you're first getting to know him, just say thank you. It really goes a long way. One of the biggest places you can do this is online dating. And the reason for that is men get rejected so much. So I always give my clients this tip. When you're not interested in a man, all you want to do is you want to write him and you want to say, thank you for reaching out to me. I so appreciate it. I feel like we're not a match on this journey, but I wish you the best. And you'll get back from a lot of men a note that says, thank you for just letting me know. I so appreciate it, because they get so rejected. Now, occasionally you'll get bombarded with a nasty letter from a man. just block him, it is just because he's been rejected so much and you rejected him again. But it's really important when men do something for you to appreciate it, whether they take you out to dinner, whether they bring you flowers, whether they plan something that you want to do. Really appreciate it. Otherwise, if they feel underappreciated, they are going to stop going out with you, stop calling you, or they won't call you. Even on a first date, tell a man, oh, I so appreciate this. Or when he writes you, oh, I so appreciate you writing me. It's like the language they speak. Men need to be appreciated, because actually what you're doing is you're signaling them that it's okay to keep coming forward towards you. Okay, the fifth thing. We're moving right along here. The fifth thing that women do that really pushes men away is not letting a man be a man and do his job as a man. So we have our ways of doing things. Anyone know what I mean by that? Like, you know just how to do it and you like it done your way. So it turns into an expectation of how it should be done. A job should be done. Alison Armstrong calls it the book of how to do everything, even though we don't know how to do something. So what we do that ends up not letting a man be a man and not letting him do his job as a man is we second guess him, because we have this book of how it should be done. So here's what that looks like. So I was going out with a man who was an electrical engineer. I mean, companies around the world hired him. He was so good at what he did. And he came into my house and he says, oh, Lisa, I think your dimmer switches need changing. What do I know about electricity? I said, okay. But what's happening in my head is that little book of how to do things. And I'm thinking, does he know what he's doing? Is it going to be okay? And I'm just second guessing him in my head. But in he comes with all this stuff to change the dimmer switches. And it was really so sweet. And he looked so cute. He had on work boots, he had on jeans and this black t-shirt. And he looked pretty sexy there fixing this dimmer plate. And Melanie says, I'm looking. What are you looking at, Melanie? The guy. Anyway, he's fixing these dimmer switches, and I come up behind him and I say, are you sure that that little yellow wire goes where it's supposed to go? Well, he was very patient, very calm. He put his screwdriver or pliers or whatever he had in his hand down on the ground. He took my face in his hands. He looked me in the eyes and he said to me, Lisa, if you don't let me do my job as a man, let me do it this way, I will never do another thing for you. That was like eye-opening to me. It was like, oh my God. I'm like, I was second guessing him, and men don't like that. It pushes them away. Now, I used to do things like this all the time. I always say I used to emasculate men like it was my job, because I didn't understand what I was doing. I just thought I knew how to do it, even though I know nothing about electricity. Now, another way you do this and not let a man do his job. If you're with an alpha male, his purpose is to keep you safe, protected, and provided for, and to get you somewhere safely. Okay? So let's say he picks you up and you're going to the movies together, and he picks you up at the door, he takes you to the car, he opens the car door, and of course, because you want to appreciate him, you say, thank you, I so appreciate that, or smile at him and say thank you. And then you get in the car and he turns his left signal on and you realize he's going a different way than you are. He's going to the movies to the left, where going to the movies, if you turn to the right, is faster. And you tell him. Well, what you're telling him, actually, not just to turn right because it's faster, you're actually saying to him, I don't trust you to get me where I need to be. So it's really important that you let men do the job their way. It's hard. Sometimes you're going to have to sit on your hands because we expect the same from them. We want them to let us do our thing our way. So we need to reciprocate that, even though we have that little book for how to do everything, even though we don't. Now, many women have said to me before, do men like confident women? Yes, men love confident women. They love intelligent women. They love you just the way you are. By the way, we fall in love with a man's potential, but men fall in love with the real us. So we are always trying to get men to be pushed up to be the best they can be. And by what we're doing is we end up telling them how to do things, where to do them, why to do them, what to do. And we go to a whole litany of things. And we're not letting them be men. And when we don't let them be men, what they actually do, what we actually are doing is pushing them away. So I am going to stay on here and I want to answer some of your questions, but I also want to share something with you. I got a letter from a group client, a woman who was in my past group, and I had to share it because this just made me so happy. She wrote and told me that she was a success story and that she got what she wanted, just the right guy, and she met him actually online at an online dating site, and they got married. And she told me that she remembered when we had first touched base and were talking that she was really depressed because a long-term relationship had ended and she was scared to start dating again. And she was in her 60s, so she wasn't really sure anyone was going to like her. And then she ended up meeting this wonderful man, and she said that it happened because she told me you shared with me in our group your vast knowledge of attracting and understanding men. And best of all, you made it fun and you made it a lot easier. She told me she had notebooks filled with pages that reminded her of all the things I had taught her, and that her quality man template, which I talked about earlier, was able to help her finally see this wonderful guy. So how many of you would love to experience this, finding a man in your 50s, 60s, or 70s? Well, I want to share with you, you're at a fork in the road. You can go left, and that's where you try and figure it out all on your own. It takes longer, it's more painful, it's a game of chance. Or you can go right and create a plan to get the man you want who's not going to leave you high and dry. So I have a resource for you that can help you experience what I just talked about that my client had happen, where she ended up getting married in her 60s. What I want to do is I want to offer 10 women who are ready to commit to making this real a complimentary Dare to Live Your Dreams strategy session with me for finding love after 50. Now, this is not for you if you just want to pick my brain about your relationship or about dating. And it's not for you if you like flying by the seat of your pants and you think you'll just know him when you see him and you're not interested in creating a plan or strategies or getting support that's going to get you what you want. Or it's not for you if you're not ready to invest in your own love life emotionally and financially. But this complimentary 30-minute session is for you if you're tired of doing this journey alone and you want support. And maybe you're successful in life, but you can't seem to find the right man to share your life with. And you know you're a catch, that you just need the support and the over 50s dating strategies for finding the right man. If you're ready to make it happen for you financially and emotionally, then let's set up a time to talk. In the session, we'll talk about where you're at, where you want to go, and what it is that you want. And I'll give you some ideas and resources for how I can support you. So if this is calling to you, I urge you to set up a time to talk to me. And you can do it. I'm going to put the link in the box, and you can copy and paste it and set up a time to talk to me. You'll want to, people have been writing. I apologize. There it is. you'll go there and you'll tell me a little bit about what's going on in your dating life. And then if I think I can help you, I will send you a link to my calendar and we'll set up a time to talk. So if you have any questions, I would love to answer them for you. I'm so glad you were here with me. I hope this helps you understand some of the ways you might have been pushing men away. And I'll stay here for just a minute if you want to write in any quick questions. And if you want one of those 10 sessions, just follow that link, findaqualityman.com/talk to Lisa. Otherwise, use what I shared with you today. It's going to make a huge difference in your dating life and in keeping the men that you want to meet in your dating life. Okay, I see no one really has any questions. So I can't wait to continue to see you in our Facebook group and to continue to support you on this journey. Bye, everyone. Thanks for being here.